Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Beard Bites. If you're dyslexic like me, you would have thought that this is a podcast about bread. We're not eating bread. We are two dudes that have known each other since high school. Actually,
Middle
since Sunday
school.
school.
Yeah,
Since
Sunday
middle school,
school.
yeah, since Sunday school.
Elementary. Probably
I
birth,
don't I mean
honestly.
I don't even know, man.
What hospital were you born in?
I was born in Egypt, bro.
Oh, yeah,
They,
me too.
they had to dig me out of the sand.
Mm.
The mummy's curse. Anyways.
Oh.
uh, I am Ahmed, and that is Hadi.
Yes, sir. And yeah, welcome back to Beard Bites, episode 2 out of 2,345. Yeah, how was your week? Let's get it started with that. You know, like what's going on? What'd you play? What'd you do? What'd you watch? What's going on with you?
I recently, over the weekend, I went and watched the Avatar concert.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that was not Avatar Blue People, the Airbender.
Ah,
Man, that one was I was surprised because like they kind of went through all the books and then kind of hit the major stuff. But randomly, man, I don't know if it's just the sound waves or whatever, but I got goosebumps and stuff, and maybe I'm just being nostalgic.
I also saw the same
it
concert.
was really good.
Not the same one you went to, but I saw it when it came to Houston, and it was pretty fire. Honestly, I really liked it as well. I did cry when Leaves from the Vine played, of course. I don't know if you did, but
yeah. I mean, I just I well up. I repress a lot of feelings, but yeah, definitely you gotta like damn, something was in my eye real quick. Give me a second, like that, you know?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, but it was good. But I don't know if this is just the brain rot here, right? Like a lot of times I had to look at the people playing the instrument because I'm like, do they just got a CD in the back? Because like that's the highest praise I can give something. It's like, wow, this sounds like studio quality. Because I've seen videos of like Kanye concerts, Kendrick concerts, Taylor Swift, like it does not sound like what's on Spotify, and you're like, damn, did I pay money? Did I pay $1,000 for this? It's like you're watching someone do karaoke, but that's kind of the gist of it, you know.
This guy sucks. Also,
yeah, I literally.
You see, you didn't bring any tomatoes to throw. Tomato bender.
Oh no, dude. No, I would throw cabbages if anything.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That, yeah. With the brick in it, why don't you just send it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Besides that, I haven't really played anything new.
No. Okay.
Played a couple rounds of, Call of Duty. Booted up Arkham Knight again. The Penguin.
You also didn't know. You also didn't know there were DLC missions in Arkham Knight, actually, which was.
Dude, okay. I played it at launch, and then I saw that they added some of the Bat Family DLC.
Yeah.
But then after that, like I didn't do any of this. I didn't know they added story missions, man.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess it's good. Like now I feel like they just released a new game. You know?
Evergreen content. Yeah, it's fresh. That's true.
Yeah, thank you, Rockstar.
Yeah, there you go. Well, they're gone now, so.
No. Yeah. What about you, man? What you been watching? What you been playing?
I watched Arcane. Caught up on Arcane. Episodes 1 through 3. Pretty good. I'm getting the itch to play League of Legends again. For a little bit of background, I have a problem with League of Legends in that I get addicted to it, so I have to cut myself off cold turkey. Because if I don't, like, life is affected, work is affected, and I know it's not a good game, and I know it's a very like bad mental health game, but I still like enjoy it. That level of salt is just like, it's palpable, you know? It's so good. It's like the little bit of salt on your steak. Like, yes, I know, right? I shouldn't have too much, but I can't help myself, right? But I didn't download it. Thank God. Also watched The Penguin, which we'll talk about The Penguin at the end of the show so that people don't, if you want to avoid spoilers, you can avoid it. But what else? What else did I play? I don't know if I watched anything else specifically. White Collar, watching that with the wife. That's a lot of fun. It's very goofy and it's very much like a product of its time.
Yeah.
but it's
No,
still like
I'm
fun.
surprised that you booted it up on a streaming service, 'cause I just watched the parts on TikTok, man. I just whatever
Yeah, well,
that ensues. I basically know everything that happened in that show plus Dexter. Yeah,
the
that's
thing
just
is, I can't take any of these clips from Suits very seriously because every time I see them on like TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever, it's always like edited with like the Alpha Sigma music, and it's like
yeah, yeah.
it's like all right, dude, like I get it, you're a lawyer, like it's a little, a little too goofy, but
Yeah. It's funny because like my TikToks on that is usually they for some reason there's like this guy is it English like it's like English voice like text to speech,
Mhm.
but they just like subbed out all the names for just like some like Chinese names.
Oh,
Yeah. It's like, oh, Shu Lin is going to the lawyer's office and he's talking to
so they
I'm
don't
like,
get caught
dang,
by
what?
copyright.
Yeah, I was like, man, they really just,
They put effort into it though, like they're like, all right, we
yeah,
gotta do
yeah.
this, we got to create characters, so I respect it.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Game wise, I know I said last time I'd play some more Yakuza. I did not touch Yakuza. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know if I'm in the right headspace to jump back into it fully yet because the last game was so big. It took so long.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
let me see. How many hours do I have in the last game? In the last game, where did I play it? Oh, here it is. I played 73 hours and I like gorged myself on it and I loved it. It was so fun. But now I'm like, all right, I think I still need a little bit of a break, but we'll see. Maybe I'll jump into it this next week. What I really played a
Mm.
lot of, for some reason, I just got this really crazy itch of Street Fighter 6, and I just played that like crazy this past week. Like I think almost
Mm-hmm.
every day I booted it up and went through like a couple rounds, things like that. Balatro, obviously, Call of Duty. I tried Spyro actually, the Reignited trilogy, because it got released on Game Pass,
Hmm.
and I found that Spyro was not for me.
I feel like
Um,
it's like too much of a product of its time because it's like you collect things and you jump on people's heads. It's like Mario, but without the Nintendo like
Flourish.
level design. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I see
I
what you're
think
saying.
like that's the thing. I think that's why Nintendo and Mario has kind of stood the time because you can tell that they kind of like are like either the levels are super unique and engaging. It's
Hmm.
like I the way I think about it is like when they talk about like cats, you have to give them something to hunt.
Yeah.
It's like enrichment. It's like
Yeah.
that's what I think. It's like that for like gamers. It's like, oh, here's all these cool power ups and here's all these like unique
Basically like hey,
levels
like trying to keep your attention. It's like jingling the keys, basically is what you're saying.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, fair
But so
enough.
I don't know if somebody else can do that now. I mean, granted, I think Astrobot seems
Astrobot,
like
yeah, I've heard it captures
yeah,
it pretty well.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, listen, man. I hope I look. I don't want to say I'm praying for your downfall, but I hope you install League because I've been getting the itch too.
No, I can't.
There is something about it that like no other game just gives you delusion, and I think if you can't like okay Counter Strike, you're stuck in a prison. Like it's so
Yeah.
you can carry, but like it's such a slog, and you
Yep.
don't feel the momentum.
Hmm.
League captures the feeling of momentum very well,
I
right?
agree.
And it's a constant like back and forth. You can steal the Baron, you can steal Dragon, and you're like, oh my, like there's like some level of excitement, and
Yep.
you can, like I kind of miss that, and I think they've nailed that down perfectly. But I think,
So I think I'm starting to
yeah,
feel that a little bit with Street Fighter 6, which is why I like
mm,
really shoved in on it this week. Like it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. The the thing about it was like so I'm plat 1, which is like where the
yeah,
majority of players are. It's not good, it's not great, it's just like mid. So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of tired of being plat 1. I want to see if I can really grind it out.
mm-hmm,
And it's one of those things where the first half of the week was me just eating it, just losing these fights and like not really understanding like what's going on. And then like there was a day where I'm like, that guy on TikTok who was like, I understand it now. He's like throwing the gummy bears in the water bottle.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
not to say every match was like that, to where like I washed them out, but now I'm getting matches where it's like I'm losing the first match. I'm like, okay, I think I understand it and like kind of adapt into what they're doing. So like
yeah,
how
yeah.
fighting games should. So I'm kind of getting that hook into me. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really liking it. I want to keep with it, see if I can get at least a diamond with one of the characters that I play. So we'll see. I mean, I have like how many hours do I have in this game? 260
Yeah.
hours in this game since launch.
Damn,
So
bro. Yeah,
yeah,
that's insane. And the
yeah,
man hasn't even touched story mode.
yeah. I don't even know. Yeah, no, not at all. But
This is
oof. I played more Hades 2 as well. Hades 2 was great as always. I'm so
mm,
excited for full release whenever that is. And I also played Overwatch 2, which we'll
uh
talk about later because we have a
I
couple.
mean we can jump into that if you want, like
No,
to
no, it's
just to
fine. It
kind
can
of
wait. It's one of those things
okay.
where it's like the tangent makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, very fun packed week. We'll see where it goes. We'll also watch The Penguin, obviously, but we talked about that a little bit. We did not get a chance to watch the Yakuza show. We should probably do that
How
after
many
this, to be
episodes?
honest.
Let me see. I feel like you
Probably at least 3, no? Yakuza.
Chief.
What?
I don't know, man. That's
How many episodes?
I mean, so far I think they have 5 episodes.
Oh, what the? Okay.
Actually, no, 6 episodes. 6
Oh my
episodes.
god. Okay.
But
The thing is, we have to know.
okay, okay, here's the thing. The thing is I can see that this is like a hard thing to make. They should have made this like an anime or something. Cuz
Or not make it at all. I don't think it needs
yeah.
any remake is the thing. You know?
No, I agree. So here's the thing, right? With this show or with the game, right, Yakuza, it's so like very much shonen in how it gets super dramatic soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, here's this girl. She is the daughter of the girl that you loved, but she's dead, and that girl has 10 billion yen, and
Yeah.
all the Yakuza are after her, and you're her sworn protector, and
you're a Yakuza that doesn't kill either. Like, you gotta,
yeah.
you know?
And for some reason, your sworn brother from the orphanage that you guys both grew up in hates you, and it's like, dude, like this is insane family drama, and these guys aren't even related, you know, like it's just all these twists and turns. So there's all like, I feel like everybody in their life needs some outlet for drama, right?
Yep.
Some people take drama in their own lives and gossip about it, right? Some people are very in tune with sports and be like, oh, can you believe this wide receiver hates the coach and he wants to leave, or this soccer player is beefing with the coach and wants to do a trade trans, like, you know, so for me, like, I'm kind of in the sports,
I'm
like,
into a sport.
yeah, but like in the sports drama, but like I think Yakuza, what is so good about it is that it's able to do all this like soap opera drama in a way that's like so not fantastical, but it's so like heightened. And then you get some dumb goofy stuff like, oh, I'm gonna go race freaking mini Hot Wheel carts. I'm gonna go play pool. Oh damn, let me go help this drunk guy that's always just in his tidy whities in the street.
It tells a good story in like such a good experience, you know?
Yeah.
And to do that in a way that's like, I think the game captures it perfectly. I don't know if a show like this could do it, but
yeah,
I haven't seen it. So
I think the game does so well because you have all these like super serious moments, and then it's like you walk outside and then you have like a side mission for the goofiest thing ever. So, let me go teach, like, I don't know Japanese, but let me go teach, or sorry, I don't know, like you play as a Yakuza that speaks Japanese, and then you run into a guy that's trying to speak English, and you're like, okay, let me learn English. It's like dumb stuff like this. Like, what? Like, you can't capture this in the show, and I feel like the issue with making this into a live action is that if you try to capture all these things, the viewer's gonna get whiplash.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like I haven't watched. I've watched 30 episodes out of 10,000 One Piece episodes, but you can tell at least on One Piece, there's a balance of like, okay, we're gonna do goofy, okay, now we're gonna do serious. That's from what I got, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the anime that could have worked, but it can't work here, I think. So, but I don't know, man. Like, it sucks because like apparently the showrunner told everybody, yo, don't play the game.
Yeah, he did.
Like, so now it's like they're just reading the script and doing what they have to do, man.
Yep. So we'll see where it goes, but you know, I do want to check it out, at least the first 2 episodes, and see how they capture that, because like the casting doesn't look bad, I'll be honest, but you know, we'll see where it goes. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I have no words to describe the apprehension and excitement that I am feeling for this
Mm,
show. You know.
yeah.
But you know what? Who else is feeling apprehension and excitement?
Excited.
Scalpers.
They're not excited. I don't know, man.
Listen, okay, here's the story, right? Scalpers, famously people who buy things at like launch and then resell it for way higher than it's priced at. They do this every time. They did it for the Switch, they do it for the Xbox for some reason, they did it for the PS5, and they do it for graphics cards. Anything that people may want, like people buy it and resell it, tickets, whatever. What's happening is that scalpers bought a ton of like scalpers do their thing. They buy a bunch of like PS5 Pros to resell at a higher price. But the issue is Sony has either A learned to make more PS5 Pros to like compensate for the demand, or they have not sold enough to like meet the like they aren't selling enough because it's like $1,000 or $700, whatever the case is, right? So what's happening is that the lack of interest in the PS5 Pro is like scalpers buy it and they have to sell it at a loss, which is beautiful. I love
I
this.
This is insane to me. Not like just like the super point of supply and demand. Like, bro, just sell it locally and just get rid of tax.
Mm-hmm.
Are you? Can you not do that, or is just the PS5 Pro so mid that nobody wants it? So they have to like
Yeah.
in the article they're saying it basically sold for less than a normal PS5.
Well, like, why do
How
you
do
need
you,
it, right? Like, this is the question. Why do you need a PS5 Pro, right, to play games? But I mean, obviously, but like, what games are you going to play on it that need the PS5 Pro, like,
man?
to hit that? You know, like,
Bro.
I
I need to play Madden. I need to play Last of Us 1 again.
well, I don't know if you saw like there. So Last of Us is one of the games that has a pro version coming out or is out
I
already.
was
Because
joking.
of course, right? Like I think it's just like a little bit of a back end thing with like, oh, we can turn it on, and they turn it on, it's good to go. Obviously, it's their flagship game, whatever. But Elden Ring, and this, I don't know if this speaks more to PS5 Pro or to speaks to Elden Ring's optimization. I do think it does speak to a little bit of both. Elden Ring cannot hit a consistent 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. And this is a known thing that
Mm,
FromSoft's games don't have the best optimization. And full disclosure, there's no pro version out yet. Like no other software, I believe, besides Last of Us, has put out like an update to the graphics to say like, hey, here's a version made for the PS5 Pro, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, whether they will or not is also a different question because it's like, is it worth it, right? Like, is Sony incentivizing like publishers to do this? You know?
Yeah, uh it's a weird thing, man, cuz I like it's like potato. I look at this and I'm said, "Oh, Sony can probably just like coast
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, right?" Cuz like I don't know why they're doubling down on hardware. Like I would much rather see these the resources and development just go towards software.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that's like very stupid and like kind of armchair analysis of me to say, but like they already have such a big lead, and I don't know if they're hurting so hard right now in the hardware department, because ultimately, like from what I saw from like Digital Foundry and or like kind of reading on the internet, roughly speaking, the normal PS5 is like a 2060 or GTX 2060, which is like
Yeah.
that's a card that came out like I think let me see GTX, but that's even before they had the RTX branding. That's how you know how old it is, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That came out when Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad. That's RTX. Okay, I'm RTX. That came out in like 2019. So
Ooh.
yeah, so relatively speaking, this is like a pretty old like spec like perform like if you just want to do a benchmark. And like the Pro is like maybe like a 2080 or 2070. It's like it was still within the same ballpark of performance. You're not getting like a 3060 or whatever. I don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah, like the fact that they don't have games, and maybe they're just trying to like cash in before the holiday.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like I don't suspect people wanting to upgrade this like they were in the past because uh, I don't know if it's just me, but like I feel like we don't have bangers the way we used to back in the day. Maybe because games are more expensive to make,
Well, I think
or
the result of
they don't
no
want to take as many shots.
bangers. I think the result of no bangers is that because Sony released, I, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say like maybe because they released a few bangers, like they released Last of Us 2, whatever, and all this stuff. Like, I think they're able to coast because Xbox is just constantly shooting themselves in the foot. You know?
Yeah, they had a campaign recently that they were like, everything's Xbox. Your phone's an Xbox. Your mom's tablet's an Xbox. The whole thing was like, oh,
You're an Xbox.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh my, the battery I ate in third grade, man. It just transformed me to Xbox.
uh,
I don't
but
know, man. But
yeah.
I really want Sony to make remake the original Infamous series. I think the people need that, man.
Or
Just do it.
something new. Like I don't know, like something that's
Like no fair. Let's do something new. But at the same time, like if they want to look for a low margin, like relatively low margin thing, do that. Or hit the button that the whole internet's been screaming about. Freaking Bloodborne.
I think that they lost the files for Bloodborne at this point because there's like I don't know. I would like to think that they'll release it, but it's just insane how they haven't said anything about it. You know?
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, Sony. That's I don't know. That I guess W for Sony that like their stuff isn't getting scalped, but like I honestly don't know. I mean, good job on the scalpers for eating it because they suck, and the fact that they are trying to like do something like this again just kind of it's just nice to hear every once in a while, because that when the Switch 2 comes out, they're gonna run rampant. So, we'll see what happens, I guess.
The thing is also with like the Switch 2. I mean, the kids want. They're like, oh my god, it's a new thing that I know. Versus like, bro, are kids really playing with PS5? I don't know.
Maybe.
Also, you said W Sony as if like, yo, W for making a horrendous product that nobody wants. And it's
Listen,
$700, dude. It's
we
like,
can't give this away. We have so much of it. They're just drowning in it at the HQ.
Yeah.
But I guess so. Another thing with Sony is that everyone recently, or not everyone, but recently rather, when Helldivers 2 came out, massive success. We played it for a little bit. It was fun. And then I dropped off. And then it got in the news again because Sony was trying to force this PSN logon system for it. And the issue was one, that's like another layer of having to play, like another layer of difficulty in order to play this game that like, they're like, I don't even care that much. I would rather not. So people like either abandoned the game, review bombed it, whatever, because they don't want this PSN sign on. And some countries don't have that PSN sign on. Like just, they don't have that feature. So you can't play the game. So you can't access a product you paid for. I believe they get refunds, but again, that's still like a huge major L, There was some news came out about that, and just a quick thing where the Sony boss like has admitted to forcing PC gamers specifically into PlayStation accounts does invite pushback, but they're doing it for the safety of the people who are playing the games, which I can see that argument for multiplayer games, but for single player, it does not make any sense at all,
Yeah.
So that's
I
like
agree.
one of those weird things that Sony was just like, oh, this is like, it's like one of those weird like backwards mentality things and trying to get the number for PSN signups up, which is stupid, but that's
That's a good point because I was thinking that they're doing it for a different reason, but if they're gonna like from an investment standpoint be like, oh, we have so many people sign up to our PlayStation Network, that they're probably trying to maybe swing the numbers out. Because initially I thought that they were gonna use this as means of collecting, like, not to sound like that guy, like, oh my god, your data, but like Sony loves doing market research and loves seeing how people play. So they're probably gonna see, like my thought was like, oh, they're probably gonna try to collect information to see how far you played into a game. Like, how many levels do you not levels, like how many times do you repeat a section, or how many do you trophy hunt, or this that?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is there a specific map that you like playing? There's probably things that they can grab when you sign up with an account that like that Steam and all these other companies they can't get from them, so they have to kind of sit in between you and the game to
Yeah,
get that information. Is my thought.
maybe I don't know. It's just a little goofy to me to see like this come up again and again and again, and they're just not leaving. They're gonna die on this hill. So I guess
Yeah,
we'll find out where it goes. The thing is, if
yeah,
Bloodborne releases on PC, I'm for sure. I don't care. I'm playing that game no matter what. You know.
yeah. I mean,
So
I'll be honest. If it's as long as it's not another launcher, I'm fine. Whatever, man. Just like
yeah,
if they have a way of seeing that, oh, that like if there's a way that I can tie my Steam account to the PlayStation, okay, fine, just go. Right? Like
yeah,
if they want to
fair
make it
enough.
as like invisible as possible, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I mean, now, like, I was gonna say Cyberpunk, but I don't think Cyberpunk has an account. Cyberpunk has a launcher. Like, I'm trying to think what other games are kind of like this. But, I mean,
Can't.
I think also it's funny that they hit this pushback with
Oh, Rocket
Helldivers.
League did this.
Oh, Rocket League?
Yeah, because they got bought by
Oh,
Epic.
Epic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
forced an Epic sign on. Risk of Rain 2 also does this where it forces an Epic sign on because their multiplayer is handed through Epic. So it's not abrasive and it is like doable, but I think it's the fact that also PSN just isn't available in some countries, so it's causing some people to not be able to play the games that they purchased. I think that's like a
Yeah,
bigger
yeah,
issue, right? But we'll
yeah,
see where this takes it. I mean, hopefully they remove it. If not, I
yeah.
guess.
I was gonna say it's funny that they did this. Like, they got the pushback specifically with Helldivers 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole point of Helldivers 2 is, hey guys, let's get the community to do this one objective.
Yeah.
And then that hey guys, that they're like, oh, here you're gonna have to sign on with PSN. The whole community, guys, we're already here. Go F it.
Kill him! Kill him!
Yeah,
Everyone storm the. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's like, dude, they picked the worst. Like,
They formed a
like
union,
they're
is what happened, and then they're like,
exactly.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't know. Speaking of Yakuza, terrible segue, but we'll get better at it. Yakuza, right? Like, you know what it is. We talked about it a little bit, but the creator, Nagoshi, basically says that, let me see here. He said that I want to make a game that's fun to play, but is it too much of a hassle? And he also said in a little part of the quote where another part of the quote where he says, looking at the situation, I think that the number of console games in the lives of ordinary game fans may be a little excessive. There are still many titles being released, but I feel that the era of games where the volume is the selling point is coming to an end. And I think this is a very fascinating quote and like idea coming from a guy who's made like 8 games in the past like 2 years, 4 years. Like, they've made a lot of Yakuza games, right? But the difference is in the Yakuza games is that they just grab the same map, same assets, and they just port it up one version. They have textures from like Yakuza 1 in Yakuza like 7, just because they're like, all right, yeah, it's like the same engine, like Koami rather. Like, it's the same engine,
it's like the same models as
same
well.
models.
Like,
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, yeah.
So the way they built their games is really smart and kind of supports the idea of like, we don't have to like expand and expand and expand. That's not the story of this game, But honing in on the point that he said, like, I think games are getting too big. I kind of agree, actually. I don't think that like the size of a game is what turns me onto a game.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree. Initially I was looking at this. It's funny because like I think this is good for their keeping the cost down, like the way that Yakuza makes games.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they're taking the same map, they update it, and then they add like some different side missions and different like activities and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's funny that quote is coming from him because, man, like I as soon as I hit the 40-hour mark in a game, I'm speedrunning to finish it, right? But
Yeah.
for some reason, Yakuza, I can sit around and like I think the first not the first one, I guess Yakuza 7, like the Yakuza Like a Dragon. That one I spent like 70 hours in, and then Infinite Wealth I spent maybe like 90 hours in.
Yeah.
But like I mean, those are good games. Like, they like remade a whole Animal Crossing sim in the last Yakuza.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but yeah, I agree. I think nowadays there's like, everyone wants to talk about live service and kind of player engagement and all these metrics and stuff like that. But I think definitely like I think even like Ubisoft, like notoriously the biggest
Hmm.
uh company that does big massive maps that 100 square meters or
Yeah.
square kilometers, all that stuff. They're kind of scaling down, right?
Well,
Like
because you
they're
have to like, if you have a map that big, you have to fill it with things to do. And
yeah.
if the space in between things to do is too vast, then it's like, okay, this world feels empty. But then if there's
Mhm.
too much, it's just like I don't care enough to do it. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
like I think they've definitely realized that that's no longer a marketing point, right? Because I think like early on it was like a technology bound thing, right? Where
yeah,
like you can let me take a tangent here. Like there's a comparison between Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man PS5, like the same game like remaster. They're like you can see that you can swing faster in 5 because the way the memory loads, right? Because you're
yeah,
running on the SSD and you're running on faster RAM. So like if you take that thought, like oh, with each generation, new doors open up. From a marketing perspective, from PS2 to PS3, they were looking at this as oh, you can get so much more map and this whole like that. I think that's probably like one of the things that like made Skyrim super interesting, right? They're like you have this whole world that you can walk end to end. Just don't enter a door, you're gonna get a loading screen, but you can walk end to end perfectly fine and it
yeah.
loads.
That's true.
So but nowadays like that's such a common thing where they're like, okay, well what else can we market? And I think probably probably density or just
Quality.
unique ideas,
Hmm.
qualities is gonna be something that's gonna be bigger in the future.
I hope, because that's like, I would rather play a game, a $60 game that has like a smaller map but has a lot of things to do on that map versus a game that's huge and it's like, okay, now it feels like a slog to get through, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think Elden Ring bordered on the idea of being too big. I genuinely think that that
Ooh,
map, the base game, not even including DLC, was huge. That
yes.
map just kept going and going. And yes, there were things to do. And just because I'm a From Software fan, I'm like fully in there. I like scraped every inch of that map, did everything I could when I played that the first time. Every subsequent playthrough since then, I have never done anything close because I'm like, this is too big. I can't enjoy it that again, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I will argue in the case of Elden Ring,
Mm-hmm.
the whole idea or like to me the gameplay loop is all about what's around the corner.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
it's fog of war times a million where you're just like okay, I am gonna walk into this area. Is there an enemy behind the door, or is he hanging up on the ceiling, or is a
Yeah.
guy gonna randomly invade me and all this? So it's a game that's always keeping you on your toes. So I think like not to say like I'm kind of counteracting my previous point, but it benefits it kind of Elden Ring kind of benefited from like having a huge map
Yeah.
because it was like okay what's around the corner and all this other stuff, but I don't know if that works for every other game or not. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. But we'll see. We'll see what this if this new thing is going to come to fruition. I kind of hope so. This idea of like we don't need to make it that big. Let's just focus on quality, you know.
Hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, Continuing the trend, I know we talked about Cyberpunk a little bit.
All right, sorry, I
Uh,
gotta pause here. Sorry, I'm gonna.
Anyways, as we were saying before, someone had to go to the bathroom.
Yo,
Uh, Listen, I had to oust you, but it's all good. It's all good. We're back. We were talking about Cyberpunk a little bit, and there's a job posting that was made, I think, on CD Projekt Red's like website, but initially they posted like uh, a job description that basically kind of um, asked for somebody who has like multiplayer experience. Let me see here. Let me make sure this is correct. Uh, uh, Okay. Yeah. Basically, um, the job is basically saying like, we want to bring focus to like multiplayer and Project Orion, which is, um, you know, it specifically says lead a team of talented engineers and work collaboratively to ensure seamless and robust online experiences. Meaning that this could be for Cyberpunk, this could be for some other games that they're working on. But in the event that it is Cyberpunk, I think that would be a really interesting scenario to see that a world with Cyberpunk like multiplayer, because it was promised, I believe, in the original and didn't come through. But the end package that we got was really good. So I'm like cautiously optimistic to see how they could implement that in this next game, you know?
Yeah, they I remember they actually I gotta get the number before I forget. They got a grant from the government, like the Polish government, to do multiplayer, like for Cyberpunk 1, and I think that fell through. So maybe they had some ideas cooking and they just couldn't get it done within the timeline for Cyberpunk 1.
Yeah, okay.
Um, let me see. Let me pull up the thing on the side while I talk. But I think it's very curious, or it's very interesting how they're gonna address this, because I kind of liked how Watch Dogs did multiplayer, because the way they did it was like an invasion, where someone comes in and it hacks you, and you have to go and uh, find out who the guy that's hacking you is and kill them, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think, and it was very seamless, because you just be playing single player, and all of a sudden you get this notification like, hey, someone's hacking you. You got to find them. I would be interested to see that more than a co-op, because I feel like co-op is like nowadays I can't, like, I'm not interested in playing a game that's, oh, you can play single player or just have a friend there with you, because one, I don't think it scales well, and two, like the pacing of the story kind of suffers from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And pacing of the mission as well. Like, and the only other thing I can think of is if you're doing a horde style round based mode, or like some extraction mode.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't see that fit in like the Cyberpunk formula, you know. Like maybe just because
Maybe
like
they
they're
have
both
it to where you
hacking,
guys like pull off jobs together, you know?
maybe.
Maybe.
But I'm like either that, or they just turn it into like a RP server, like GTA
Oh my
style. Like
god.
honestly, if they go that way, that would be kind of crazy. Because I think there's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, fair
expression in
enough.
Cyberpunk.
That
So
is true. Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
true. I'll agree with that. It's not like my thing, but I'm not. I can totally acknowledge the idea that like people would be really into that, space.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I am curious to see. Like, I did thoroughly enjoy the end package of Cyberpunk that we got, and I do occasionally like
Mhm.
replay it. So I think if they keep that as the baseline and just move up from there, it can only get like a lot better. I think at the end of
Yeah,
it, Cyberpunk did end up in one of my like must play games for people.
yeah. Just
Especially the
imagine
DLC.
multiplayer. Yeah, my bad. Sorry, go for it.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Just imagine everybody walking around like in multiplayer, just yelling out "choom" and stuff, or "Hey, hey, Gonk, let me get the eddies," or
Yeah, that would be
I need some new Chrome.
a
Yo, this is Cream Nova, whatever.
Sophia.
I don't know.
I need some Eddie,
Oh
Sophia.
my god.
uh, man, that would be fun. I can't imagine people running around and being idiots in Cyberpunk. It'd be goofy, but I would love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of idiots, this is just a little bit of a side story. There's a streamer by the name of Every Game Guru, and he streams on YouTube, Discord, Twitch, TikTok, like all those things, Facebook, like everything, right? And it's really funny because he streams games that like he emulates pirated games straight up. And he's very open about what he's playing. He's very open about like he gets games that are not released yet. Like I think he was playing Brothership a week before it came out, and he straight up was like he just kept doing it, and Nintendo was like, "Hey, stop!" And he's like, "What are you gonna do, man? Like, you could take me down, but I'll just keep coming back. You can't stop me. I can make infinite amount of emails and all this stuff." So Nintendo's like, "I bet and they hit him with crazy law. I mean, naturally, they hit him with a crazy lawsuit because everything he's doing, like, it requires some form of illegality to be able to do what he's doing, playing hacked games, playing on an emulator that Nintendo believes is like illegal, all this stuff. They hit him with 5 counts of various aspects of copyright law, and like, it's crazy because he's done so much at this point, and Nintendo's gonna throw every single book that they have at him. And this guy's an idiot. I don't know why he would try to challenge Nintendo in this space, but you know.
I mean, I think he made it an easy example.
Very much so.
So that, like, because I think, having it back to back where Yuzu got shut down, then Ryu Jinx got shut down for emulation, and then you have this guy come up, and then they're like, "Hey, I'm a hammer, I see a nail," and then they just go for it.
Yep.
Like, especially when the guy's asking for it,
Yep. No,
I have allegedly seen people still using Ryu Jinx on Reddit.
Ooh.
I don't know. Just
say their names right now. Out them.
Anyways, but so I think this kind of sends a signal. It's like, hey, we can go after individuals too. I think is kind of what they're, and it's very much so like the guy is literally asking for it. So I'm not saying I like to see the big man win, but at the same point, like,
what did you expect?
If you're gonna jump into the freaking lion pit in the zoo, like, what do you expect?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say on that except for like this guy's an idiot, and his life is, I don't think it's over per se, but like he's good luck, buddy. Good luck. But a little bit more Nintendo news. Their lawsuit against Palworld Pocket Pair creators of Palworld Pocket Pair has been revealed, and it's very interesting that they're only asking for $66,000 in damages, but like fighting that in court and all that stuff will cost millions, and they're also asking for an injunction, which means like no more sales of the game. And the things that they're copywriting or patent striking, which is really goofy, they're copywriting or patent striking. What are they patent striking? They're copywriting the riding mechanic, the catching mechanic, and I believe the aspect of like summoning as well. I have to check on that third one, but the first two are for sure, that. And it's just really sad because it's like this company like is a genuine like quote unquote threat to Nintendo, and they're like, oh, we gotta get them. We gotta stuff them out right now. Yeah. So I hope they don't cave in, but who knows,
Yeah, man, it's interesting because like low key, man, like they could probably patch in like just things to change, like
I agree.
Like they change how you throw the Pokeball and change the shape of the Pokeball, and then but I don't know how you can get around riding Pokemon. But I don't know, man. This is one of like, obviously this is the sense of like here's a little guy, right? And why is Nintendo going after them? I think it's because like I don't want to say it's an image thing, but it could be an image or pride where they're seeing, oh, this little indie company is able to like garner so much like hype and possibly making, like, obviously the games don't play the same at all.
Yep.
Right. Which, okay, actually I gotta open up this pan. I gotta see this real quick. I mean, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I'm just very curious to see. Okay, I don't understand this, but I'm trying to understand like how do you patent riding an animal? Like,
well, that's the thing.
Why doesn't Nintendo go after Rockstar for freaking Red Dead Redemption? You're riding a horse, but they have a pony-looking horse.
Well, that's the thing. That's the argument, right? This opens up the space of like, yo, they can sue. They can patent anything, right? Like, imagine them patenting the jump mechanic. Then that's like crazy, And yeah, so no one knows, or I mean, people know, but it's one of those things where kind of people collectively agree like this is ridiculous. and I believe there was a rumor out. I have to double check, but actually I won't say because I don't know if it's confirmed, so I don't want to throw out misinformation here. Um, but yeah, those are the things that Nintendo's suing Pocket Pair for. I hope that they lose because this is kind of ridiculous and it's like a really stupid thing. And in the world that they do, like Nintendo does win, then I feel like Pocket Pair can just change the mechanic and just be like, yeah, okay, like next, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
it's like I'm surprised that these patents like got out like or got like I really want to see someone else's analysis of these patents because they seem so generic, but maybe
mhm.
they are so tightly coupled to the way the Pokemon look,
Yeah,
and I think everybody was like, oh, like they didn't copy the design, but it's inspired by it. Like
very
someone can
much
definitely
so.
look at it and be like, oh, like your grandma might think you're playing Pokemon, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're kind of looking at
Well,
this
it's also the
to
most
maybe
successful. There's never been a Pokemon clone that's been this successful, right?
yeah.
I
And the
mean,
thing is, it's not even a clone, dude. It's more like Minecraft or Factoria
yeah, I agree. Yep.
or Factoria, whatever. But
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how this goes. Hopefully, Pocket Pair wins, but I guess we'll find out.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay, this one's interesting. Trump's tariffs that he's been very like adamant about pass, console prices could skyrocket by 40%. PS5 Pro could cost an upward of $1,000 US, to which scalpers will lose. Actually, scalpers might make their money
Bro,
back. So you know,
like okay, here's the thing. I don't care about this tariff because I can just go buy it from the scalper for cheaper.
yeah. There you go.
That's the
You're
big brain. Oh, why buy
ooh.
MSRP?
Do you
Just
think
go
Trump
buy
is in bed with the scalpers?
Bro, Trump is the scalper, I think. That's
Yeah.
what, guys, please, guys, please, we have to buy
I'm
my
trying to
console.
buy. Everyone wants a PS5. That's what we're trying to do here. Um,
Uh,
but you know, obviously the tariffs being what they are and living in America, not a good like overall thing. And the fact that they could increase like luxury items like this, like video game consoles, by that much is going to be really interesting to see. Like, if there's going to be lobbies against this. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like last time, like in 2016, there was similar stories about this. I don't think he's gonna be doing tariffs on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think because like bro, him and Shinzo Abe were tight. The PS4, PS5, Sony, I believe they manufacture from Japan or I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think the tariff hits from where the manufacturing happens, right?
Yeah.
Most likely, this is going to be going after China. Um, so actually, let me run it back. Maybe, damn, look at me just being a podcast dude and just saying whatever that comes to my mind. Because I mean, I think manufacturing does happen in China, so um there could be like stipulations around this like if it's actually I don't know, man. Damn, let me take a minute and shut up.
Basically, what's happening is that like Trump is it is Chinese imports. You know that would affect laptops in which like um, consoles. A lot of them are made in China, so that's gonna this article is saying that it could raise prices by about 40%. So that is something that could happen. You're not like that's a it's a concern for a lot of people across the board. Generally, any imports will increase. That's the way Trump has said it in the past.
Yeah,
So with that in mind, that's just something we have to like keep an eye on, see what's going to happen. I mean, January is when he kind of comes into office and see if he swings for the fences. Because I feel like once people start getting uncomfortable, then they're going to be like, hey, like that's not cool. Undo that. Now my groceries are even more expensive, or rather, my goods, my luxury goods, are more expensive. And when people are uncomfortable, that's when like change and
yeah.
all this stuff kind of comes up. So
I feel like there was like I might be wrong. Like I feel like there was like a circle around some of the tariffs before where they're like, okay, granted you are like you manufacture from China, but you like we'll give you a special exemption or something. Maybe there is something like that. I don't know.
yeah,
Because I think we'll have to see how some of this stuff gets implemented because I think nowadays people want to hop in and say something. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Or you just buy a PS5 Pro right now. It's technically on sale because
Correct.
it's 700 and 2025 it's 1,000. So I mean you listen, boy math, hop on it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, Ahmed, we have a group chat, right?
I think we do, yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple. And imagine in that group chat I said, "Hey guys, I'm quitting my job. I need one of you boys to come in and do my job for me because I'm quitting." What would you say to
Mhm.
that? Would you say yes? Would you say no? What's your, what are you thinking?
I mean, like I don't know your job, so I mean, I would say,
Yeah,
hey
but
man, I'm not. It ain't me.
listen, we're in the same group chat, close enough. You earn money, I earn money by working. What's the difference, right? All this to say, I genuinely believe at this point that the billionaires and the millionaires of America are in a group chat with each other and they're just like, "Yo, dog, I gotta quit. Someone come take my spot." For context, Bob Iger stepped down from Disney, or he's going to, whatever the case is. And Disney came out and said, "Hey, listen, we saw the group chat. We kind of picked someone at random. We think this guy, EA CEO Andrew Wilson, will be a great pick for this Disney CEO to replace him." Which I
Uh, I mean, it's a interesting play because, bro, like, hold on. All right, we're gonna do a live check right now. Let's see. Like, all right, live check. 5 year max. Damn, I had a narrative and I've been thwarted. I was gonna come on here and talk about EA slander. Okay, they're up, and so never mind. Last 5 years they're up. Okay, maybe the guy can run a company. Okay, let me. Can he run it in a way that I like it? No, but can he run it in a way that they're printing money? Yes. Boys and girls, when you go to Disney World, you're gonna get a battle pass.
yeah,
You
there you go.
wanna, yeah, you wanna watch the new episode of Winter Soldier or Loki or Agatha? Okay, you need to watch the 3 episodes of That's a Raven first. Okay,
Mhm.
you have to get enough battle pass stars so that you can unlock the next tier. That's how the episodes are gonna get rolled out.
If you
You
hit the
know,
Orange Justice in the Disney castle, you get a victory royale.
Exa- actually, okay. I
Wait,
mean,
no, that's Fortnite. Never mind.
no, wait, actually, okay. Unironically, like, because I think Disney is trying to do a big pivot into Fortnite as a
Oh, they
metaverse
are.
thing.
Yes, yes,
So
that
so
is correct.
maybe that's why they're like, let's bring the gaming guy because he is gonna pioneer the new digital thing. Because I'll be honest, man, I think Fortnite is the closest thing to Ready Player One metaverse
Mhm.
that we're gonna get. Sorry, Zuck. I don't know who's gonna do it, but I think if it does happen, Fortnite very well could be that platform. To be honest, man.
Well, it's
Because
halfway
like
there already. Like you said last week, right? Like it's like everything is in Fortnite,
yeah,
straight up.
like you can like all the IPs are there. They have already established connections with everybody, and then they can leverage those existing connections to bring on new. Like, tell me, where have you seen freaking Marvel and DC characters in the same video game? You haven't, bro. That's like unheard of.
Yep, that is
How
true.
how can you get Batman and freaking Wolverine, bro? They even I'm pretty sure like this is one of the earliest sightings is that you got Wolverine back with Spider-Man, right? Before the whole Disney Fox stuff, you never saw that happen aside from like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, but you didn't see it in any other media. So like
Hmm.
anyways, so maybe Disney's looking at this as like, hey, we really are gonna swing huge on this thing
The gaming stuff, yeah.
on the digital front, right?
It could work.
Because I mean, because like they have like because that's probably like the newest like hard swing that they might want to do. That's my
Yeah.
guess, right? Otherwise, because also I'm thinking like I thought Bob Iger stepped down they gave CEO to somebody else, and he's like, "Nah, bro, you suck. Get out of here." He got back. So
Boo!
maybe this is like a like oh no, he left the ring. Oh, he's good getting on the top rope, and he's gonna come in RKO him or something. You know, he's oh, he's reaching for the whatever. Okay, I haven't watched wrestling growing up, but the whole he's reaching for the money case or whatever.
He's getting
You know
he's
that?
getting the cash case. He's gonna cash
Yeah,
in the bank. Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Maybe that's what they're doing, right? I don't know.
I'd like to
It's
think that Bob Iger's like, yo, dog, this new guy I hired sucks. Anybody want to take his spot? And this guy's like, I'll do it. I got you, homie. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um,
I
which
I will say. Oh, sorry, go for it. My bad.
no,
I
no,
cut you
no,
off.
no, go for it.
No, because I was gonna hard pivot because like um, I feel like this guy is like made some of the w- worst decisions. Okay, I don't want to say worst. Like obviously all the people want to tune up the numbers and maximize profit and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like Apex saw this issue where they had that they were like, oh, let's try to do this like two-tier battle pass system, and
Mm-hmm.
like you buy two battle passes, and it kind of blew up, and the people really hated it, right?
Yeah,
And most likely that came under from him, from the CEO.
yeah.
But then I think another thing that probably kind of came from the CEO is instead of buying two battle passes for a season,
Mm-hmm.
how about you buy a subscription to Apex Legends?
Listen,
So the current
gross.
rumor
God.
is similar to Fortnite Club or whatever. You pay like $10 a month. You get you get credits. You get some new skins. But dude, I don't know if Apex has the same
So
sustained
it's not
power.
yeah, the idea isn't here yet. The players who play Apex are sent a survey asking how they feel about this idea. Um and the way you access it, the monthly fee would be one of those things where you they would have to be, I think it looks like it says it's targeted toward a specific tier of player. They would get in-game currency and monthly rewards, and then like, other free-to-play games offered as well. Um but I think they're just fielding the idea. But in a world that
Yeah,
this idea comes to fruition, I hate this. Like,
yeah,
this sucks.
bro. I titled this Titan Fall from Grace.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wh-
That hurt
the
hurt me to read.
where was the respawn, man? They not where were they, but like how the mighty have fallen, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They from my understanding that Respawn Entertainment made Apex Legend a shadow drop game that even EA didn't know about, right? And somehow they
I
came in.
think they knew about it. They just didn't have faith in it, I think is the way it looks, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, but like it's just the way EA kind of came back and snuck their fangs in this,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like arguably, I think you would agree, probably is against what the studio wants, right? Like I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. We'll never like I'm surprised because like they might have shot themselves in the foot like with this, and then now they seem very promising to make like, oh, you guys can handle Star Wars Jedi? Okay, maybe
Well, I thought they
we're
got it
gonna.
taken away from them, didn't they?
Oh, they did. I don't know. I like.
Let me see this. Let me check. But yeah, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say because like maybe like like Vincent is Vincent Bella, right?
Yes, Vince Zampella.
Yes.
Ah.
Like OG, like COD 4, like one of the heads of COD 4,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're stuck here. He made two bangers, Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and then now
I mean,
we're here.
I will say Apex is also a little bit of a banger in that, like, it is fun. Like, I'm not a fan of battle royales personally, but it is a fun game. But that has gotten him in a hole where it's like EA is like, hey, look at this money printer. How about you just operate that for the rest of your life?
Yeah,
But now that the ink is drying out on that money printer, they're like, oh shit, what do we do here?
yeah. It's tough to manage, like 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 the balance, right, from
Yeah.
this, because like they like for example, they started making like with Titanfall 2, they made it, they were so future thinking, man. They made it at a time where like people didn't like fast movement, and Titanfall is a notoriously fast moving game.
Yep.
But you know, now people come and they're like, oh, we really want this fast moving game, and you see Call of Duty adding omni movement and all these things to kind of capture people's attention.
Yeah.
So it seems like things kind of come and go in waves, right?
Yep.
So we're on that same trend. Um, People were complaining so much about the things that they loved, or they're complaining about. Okay,
Also, wait,
damn,
real
I
quick
had
to
a
answer your question, their exclusivity contract for Star Wars ended in 2023. It was a
oh,
10-year
okay,
deal.
fair.
So, yeah.
Damn, they made two games. Okay, two games in 10 years is pretty good.
No, they made Battlefront 2, they made Battlefront 1.
Oh, EA. Okay,
EA,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
EA,
Okay.
sorry. But yeah, go ahead with your segue.
I had the segue and I dropped it.
Oh,
I
okay.
was, I was gonna say,
Okay,
basically,
here I got you.
we're
I
going
got you.
to. Okay, yeah, you take it. You take
Okay, okay. Essentially, like Apex is a money printing machine, right? You can look at it and say like, okay, like the Apex has been around for a while. Can you guess? I don't know if you have this at the top of your head. I don't know if you've looked at the article yet. Can you guess how many seasons of Apex have passed so far?
Ooh, okay. My gut's gonna say like 23.
Okay, you looked at the article, but
No, I didn't. I didn't. It was just like, cause okay, cause like it's like okay, 10 weeks a season, then you have a break, and then you do another season.
yeah. So they're on season 23, and
Oh
just
damn.
seeing that number mentally for me is crazy, right? And you have to think like, okay, like how did this all start? Well, Apex decides that maybe you should experience it for yourself. They decided to, for season 23, they're going to return to the original map with classic weapons and abilities as well. And you might be thinking, okay, cool, like pretty neat, but like whatever, like, you know, games are allowed to do that. And I'm not saying they can't. But then Fortnite also said that, hey, we're going to come back and we're going to bring back season 1, chapter 1 as well. And this time they also said it's here to stay, which means like it's going to be there forever. They're not going to retire it, all that stuff. It's going to collect from the original loot pool, all this stuff. Which is like, okay, like the whole bit of like, you know,
Yeah.
if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I would have 2 nickels, which is not
Yeah.
crazy.
2 for
but
2.
Yeah,
Know?
2 for 2. And then Overwatch comes in and they said, listen, guys, I know you're not happy with how Overwatch is run right now. Trust me. I hear you, right? Ahmed, when was the last time you played Overwatch?
it was when Overwatch 2 released, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, okay, Overwatch is like, I hear you. Hey, man, listen, you know what would be great? Do you remember OG Overwatch? Remember classic Overwatch? 6v6, like, crazy abilities, you know, all that
Then you
stuff.
have six bastions.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember how fun
Yeah.
that was? Do you remember how good it was?
Yeah.
Well, what if, right, we brought it back? Not permanently, at least not yet, but for a limited time mode from November
100%.
12th to December 2nd.
This is them trying to get people back into Overwatch.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's the game like.
Well, okay, hold on, pause, right?
Anyway.
Apex and Fortnite, I think I'm looking at for Fortnite, I think it's just like a return to like, hey, like it's nice, let's check it out, let people try it out. Fair enough, right? I think Fortnite doing it is fair in the sense that like, yeah, like okay, it's there permanently, meaning they're just having it there. You can play it if you want, not necessary. It's not a temporary thing, just whatever, right? They're not doing it as like a, I guess a little bit as like a cash grab, but I can see the realm where it makes sense for Fortnite to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apex doing it, I think it's a little strange. I think it's like, okay, the well is maybe drying up. Like we mentioned that like monthly subscription thing. They're trying everything to get people back in. Again, season 23, I can imagine people are like tired of the game after a certain point.
Yeah.
So
I'll add on real quick.
yeah, go for it.
I think this like because I'm looking because I like just another data point, and I'll do a quick thing is
Yeah.
that like even Call of Duty is bringing back Verdansk, right? The OG Warzone map. So
Hmm.
I think there's something here that like like people like want. I don't know if it's nostalgia, but I feel like gamers don't know what they want, so they just say, "Oh, give me the last thing that I had," you know. So
Mm-hmm.
because like there has to be a reason why these four games. I think you have a point for Overwatch, like that. I think that I kind of cut you off from, but there's something that is that like game devs and publishers and studios see that they're like, hey, maybe we just need to kind of hit Control Z a couple times and bring
Mm-hmm.
back what we had, or, you know. So, um, and who knows, you know, and then next thing you know, they're gonna be playing these modes for a bit, and then they get say, when are we gonna get anything new? And then they try something new, and then they say, oh, we don't like it, bring it back, and then anyways,
Yep.
that's my old man yell at the thing. But sorry for cutting you off
No,
on
no,
your
you're
Overwatch
good. You're
point.
good. So yeah, that's Apex and Fortnite. And then Overwatch 2 is, it's not in a good place, right? Like every time you hear about it, it's always like negative news and it's like regressive changes and things that like don't make sense. People were like, why did you even make Overwatch 2 in the first place? Which is like they took away 6v6. They promised a bunch of story content that didn't happen. They redid the monetization to be like atrocious. And now they're like, hey guys, I know you love Overwatch 1, so we're bringing it back. You're welcome. And everyone's like, shut up. Why'd you take it away in the first place? Um,
Okay.
and I did try it. I know I alluded to it earlier. I did try the original mode. And I don't know if it was nostalgia or what, but I jumped in and I was genuinely excited to try it out. And I jumped in and I'm like, oh, I actually don't like classic Overwatch as much as I thought I would.
Oh no.
Like, okay,
Okay.
like I really liked Overwatch. We played it a lot, me and you, right? Like we've played it
Yeah.
with friends and stuff like that, and it was fun. But there's something about I don't think I like classic Overwatch. I think I like Overwatch 1.5, which is more balanced heroes, more heroes in
Oh, okay.
general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I enjoyed the end state of Overwatch 1 more than the beginning state of Overwatch 1.
Okay. You didn't like the five bastions, five like
No,
or the six of the same.
I didn't mind that inherently. That's not the issue, right? It's more so like I'm playing like Genji. Well, first, like, okay, I
Yeah.
main like Orisa and Moira, both of which are not in the base game. So when I jumped in, I'm like, oh shoot, they're not here. Okay, let me figure out who I used to play. All right, let me jump into Genji. And I'm not the best Genji, I'll be the first to admit. But like the way that the damage is scaled, the way that like Mercy, for example, her abilities are, the way that like Hanzo's abilities are, the base level of Overwatch 2, like it's not a super balanced experience, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So, that being said, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I did.
Hmm.
And the fact that they brought it back like this is like, it's really weird. The fact that they brought it back for a temporary, like, game mode, it's very much like a limit test to see if it'll bring enough people back to warrant it being applied full time, you know?
Yeah. No,
Um,
probably, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I think you were saying that like maybe this is um like this is kind of a stab to see if they can keep people from going to Marvel Rivals.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So the beta ends December 2nd, and Marvel Rivals comes out December 6th, I believe. And the whole
Hmm.
I think that what they're doing is they're gonna be like, oh hey, like by the way, like on December like 1st or like November 31st or November 30th, whatever the date is, they're like, hey guys, we know you love 66, so now it's coming to Overwatch 2, baby.
Hmm.
Which like if that's the case, first off, why make Overwatch 2 if you're just gonna bring back the same mode and not promise any of the new features, you know?
Yeah, because I think they had their creative head dip out.
Yes, he did.
Like Jeff Kaplan, man.
Yep.
It's it's very crazy that like how much influence um like one person can have, right? Like from a creative lead or creative director, what they can kind of do and the impact that it has on the community. And I think a lot of people kind of felt that Overwatch was like done when Jeff left. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Did he leave at the inception of Overwatch 2, or do you know when he left?
I think I think he left before it launched.
Oh, so he was left during
Uh,
development, basically.
he basically,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So that's, I don't know. I think that's what kind of gave a lot of people kind of like question marks and
Hmm.
yeah. So
I mean, I'm down to try it with you for sure, but it's one of those things where I was expecting something different, and I jumped in and I was like, oh man, like maybe I'm not a fan of Overwatch 1. Maybe I like 1. Maybe I just like Overwatch 1 in its end state, where it has all the heroes, it has the maps, it has like the gameplay, like like that. I think that's what I enjoyed, but
mhm.
it also could be because I played it alone. But if you're enjoying it, like as an audience member, like more power to you. Like I'm glad you're able to get something out of it. It's just sad that like Overwatch was like the pinnacle of like sports, or not esports, but like co-op gameplay, like team versus team battles.
Yeah, like
Hero shooter,
TF2.
yeah, TF2, and it just died so hard when Overwatch 2 came out, and it's like you guys shot yourself in the foot with such a golden goose.
Mm.
Uh, I fully wonder.
Shout out,
Yeah. Say again.
shout out to Activision.
Yeah, literally, like, oh, that's my boy right there. Can put any dog down. Um, but we'll see. I mean, it just feels very strange. It just feels very strange to see. It's like it's a little sad. You know.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of sad, Bethesda.
Oh God.
So I don't know if you got a chance to check this out, but a couple months ago, their workers created a union. More power to them. Very awesome that they did that, and I believe it's the largest video game union in America at this point in time. So they actually, let me find it here. Hundreds of Bethesda workers who worked on things like Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls are going on strike across the country. Workers in Maryland and Texas are walking off the job, claiming that the company has failed to address their remote work concerns at the bargaining table and has begun outsourcing quality assurance work without the union's agreement.
Bro, that speaks volumes. I am sorry, like I am a Bethesda hater, man. Like
Correct.
I think they are amazing at building worlds,
Yep.
but they fumble so hard on game game mechanics and design and like animations. I
Mm-hmm.
think for the longest time it's always been, oh, the jank is what makes it the best. But man, this is so janky. And the fact that, bro, the quality assurance work is getting outsourced, dog. What, it's there. Like what? Okay, that I think maybe I'm just like I'm a hater, but obviously it's not. Yeah, it's never good when people have to go on strike. Ultimately, it means the people's uh are in a spot where they feel like they can't get the bare minimum that they need, so they have to kind of leverage the like collective power, collective bargaining in order to kind of get things right.
Yeah.
But I think for Microsoft and Bethesda, I guess in this case, maybe I don't know who exactly makes the call, but to say that, oh, we're just gonna go behind your back and outsource it,
Yep.
I think maybe is leading to a lot like some problems, right? Because you're obviously missing out on people that have context. Like obviously they're not in the design aspect of the game, but like you, like when you're in something for so long, you have context.
Well, QA is also
And,
vastly important, right? Like it's
yeah,
huge.
for
So
no, for sure, yeah. But like this isn't me saying like, oh, all the bugs that we had in Starfield are because the 300 additional outsourced jobs caused it, right?
mhm.
There's more to it, but I think you're definitely gonna it's like saying, hey, have you worked on a car before? Okay, do you want to be a stand-in mechanic for the F1 pit stop? It's like, it's like I don't know, like it's like because ultimately I think the way some of these companies work, like from kind of my personal experience, like in software, is like
Yeah.
they say, hey, on paper define like the specifications of what we need and how many heads, like head count do you need. They
Yeah.
say, okay, we can do this with 10 people. Okay,
And who
open a
defines
bunch of,
this? Like the lead of the project or what?
I mean, it gets scoped to per team, right? So
Okay.
like,
Okay.
so maybe like the head of QA is like, oh, we need this many heads or this many bodies to do this. Okay, they go
Okay.
interview 300 people, bring them on board, and slap it on the table. Okay, we're done here, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, not to discount the work of the people that got hired on or whatever. But it's ultimately they view people as like numbers, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
they
Story
definitely,
points.
yeah, story. Oh my God, like the whole like they it's there's a saying that I think a lot of people have heard, which is uh like you can't. I'm gonna butcher it. I'm gonna Google it. Just give me 1 second, because I always butcher it every single time, but I say it. I quote it like once every 2 months. And there's a phrase. Okay, you can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Because like, so the idea is like people are like, oh, we can scale this, okay? Dude, guys, we scale so hard, and then they're like, hey, like if we just throw manpower at it, it'll get done quicker. Not every problem's like that, you know.
Hmm.
In the case with a baby, you can't you can't throw 9 women at a problem and get a baby in a month. You know, a baby takes 9 months.
Yep.
So
Fair enough. And it's also like the thing with QA is like for Bethesda games especially. I know you touched on it a little bit. Like extremely important because these QA guys are sitting in the same room, like testing the same level and same bug like hundreds of times a day. You know.
yeah,
And the fact that they're like, yo, what if we just outsource that? It's like, okay, buddy, like, what are you doing? Like, you need people who know what they're doing. And not to say that these outsourced companies don't know, but like you said, people with context, people who understand the team, people who understand like the workaround time, like,
yeah. That's what happened with Cyberpunk. Like ultimately, the QA got outsourced to a different team,
mm-hmm.
or to a different company actually, right? And
Yeah,
that got misreported, like how well the QA was going,
yeah,
and that's what caused all these delays and the kind of mess Cyberpunk was at launch, right?
mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, who knew context mattered, man? But
Yeah,
hopefully they're able to kind of turn this into a win and uh, give people better have this be a signal for other teams to either unionize or kind of take back or voice their concerns in a way that they can
yep,
get things done and make work better for them, because at the end of the day
absolutely.
we're just a cog in the gear, or whatever the phrase is. I'm just
Metal Gear.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, I guess. So this story is interesting. We have a couple more, and then we could talk about the Penguin. But Hideaki Itsuno, the creator of what's it called, DMC and Dragons Dogma, lands at a new studio. Um, he's going to be joining Lightspeed Studios in a new, exciting chapter for himself. With Lightspeed's strong development capabilities and global network, I'm looking forward to creating original AAA games together with the amazing team and building an innovative and beautiful experiences for a global community of gamers. They basically said, I'm here. He's been at Capcom for, I believe, about 30 years. Let me see here. Let me see the exact number. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This is a sub point, but
Mhm.
like Lightspeed Studios, I see is like from is a subsidiary or the parent or child of Tencent.
Yep.
So man, Tencent is all over the place, man. They own Riot. So I'm curious to see how they're. I mean, they definitely picked up a gem, or like a like freaking Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma. I mean, Dragon's Dogma, I think people can have questions on or whatever opinions,
Yeah.
but Devil May Cry, man, is like one of the most OG game series ever, man.
Well, it's
And
great, right? Like DMC 2 is awful, but DMC 1, 3, 4, and 5, 5 especially, like blew it out of the water.
yeah.
And they are, I think they're making 6. I believe it's like one of those things where it's like confirmed and not confirmed at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he left Capcom before they made that kind of speaks to me, at least, where it's like, okay, either he didn't like the vibe or the bag was huge at Tencent, you know, like, because he
Yeah.
still wants to make games. Clearly, he joined the new studio
Mhm.
to do so. And it's going to be an action game, I believe he said. So I'm so curious to see what that looks like that Capcom wouldn't let him make. Because I think Dragon's Dogma 2, I'll be honest, I did not like it. I think it flopped in terms of like the content, and I think that the combat was not that great. And it didn't feel like a complete game. It felt like the third act was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know what that means for him in his next thing. Is his next venture going to be more Dragon's Dogma-esque games where it's like this is his vision and he just kind of lost the sauce? Or he's like, I want to make Devil May Cry 7, but you know, it's different and like it's gonna be like way more badass, you know? So it can lean either way, you know?
Yeah, I got the impression that maybe because like if he did a lot of the DMC games earlier, then he's probably kind of tired out. And I probably from Capcom's perspective is they want someone like they want the OG to run it. So
Mm,
but I think like there's only so many ways you can make an action combat game that feels fresh and brings something new to the table.
mm-hmm,
Otherwise, you're kind of just like doing the same thing. You know, like from DMC, uh, from DMC 3 to 4. At
mm-hmm.
4, they introduced Nero and this whole like his not devil trigger, that the hand, devil hand,
The,
whatever it's
the
called.
the Devil Breaker.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
in 4, right? Where he's like, "Oh, like this has powers." And like they can't remake Dante, or they could have like shoehorned this thing into Dante, but then you're breaking the character. And then
Yeah.
so they probably like, "Oh, that's how we spun it." And then the fans are like, "Oh, what the hell? Who's this guy? I want Dante." And then they ultimately bring back Dante and they bring back Virgil. And then
Mm,
in Devil May Cry 5, they're like, "Oh, well, how do you like kick this up a notch? How do you turn this to 12? Okay, your arm. Now you have a billion arms. Now you have like 10 arms." It's like,
yeah.
you know, so like you can like it's like okay, that's innovative, but then we're still kind of mashing square, triangle, and you know pressing X to do air combos and things like that. You know, like I'm not like not to simplify the game, but like it's sort of you can expect what's gonna happen in 6. Like, what are they gonna do? Your foot is I don't know.
Well, maybe, but
Uh,
like, dude, who knows? Like, the thing is with Itsuno, I think that's why people are so drawn to him is that like he innovated from 3 to 4 and then 4 to 5, right? So it could be something crazy
yeah.
good, or it could be more of the same. I'm willing to give it a shot, regardless of what it is. Oh, actually, I don't know about that because Dragon's Dogma 2, in my opinion, did
So okay,
kind of suck.
I'll say this. I think with Dragon's Dogma,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's like a resourcing thing, but you can kind of see this type of game that he wants to make, like a vision. Like it's like, hey, like fast travel is gonna suck, but that's kind of the world that you're gonna be in.
That is
Like
true.
there's like so there is something to say about making a game the way a vision has had, right? I'll probably if he had more money, maybe he could have made the third act better. Probably could have improved some of the combat, or maybe he wanted to make the combat a bit more difficult to handle, kind of like how it is in Monster Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
a different game, but that make
You're
the lack
saying
of a lock
the
on.
vision is
There's
the
a
art itself, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
it's I feel like there's
some Kojima
you
type
can
stuff.
yeah, man. Maybe I'm sniffing my own farts right now, but some like I think there's some games, especially Kojima games, man. You're just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm here for whatever this guy's making, right? You like
Yeah,
this guy knows how to make a mean plate of food in the kitchen. Whatever is coming out, I'll eat it.
that is
And
true.
then
Yep, I'll agree
so
with
like
that.
because nowadays it's you feel like games are very much manufactured and kind of all feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then when a game bucks a trend, the initial reaction is, "Oh, whoa, what the heck?" Oh, and then people come back and be like, "Oh, you know, this was a very slept on thing."
Yeah, that is true.
And I think for me, it's hard to recognize that in the moment,
Yeah.
because sometimes you just want to play the same thing. And I think we've played so many games, and so many games are coming out that you can kind of just you feel like you're just seeing all at once. Like brain rot coming in. It's like going into the museum and just, yep, that's a picture. That's a painting. Well,
Yeah.
that's another painting. You know, like you lose so much, but it's like when everybody's there pumping out the same stuff, and then you see something different, and then like you walk, you take a wrong turn in the
Yeah,
museum, you're
you
like,
got you
damn,
go and make your effort to go look
I
at it.
just yeah. I was gonna say sometimes in the museum you'll see like someone just like someone sneezed on a canvas and drew like green squiggles everywhere. Like, what the heck is this abstract art? But then you look at it like, oh my god, when I was in
I
third grade,
understand
I
everything. Yeah.
yeah, you know, it just hits you.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know.
So then the question becomes, and we don't have to get into it now, but then the question becomes like, what defines good game design in terms of like, yeah, this is good, or like in terms of like, oh, it's confusing, but it's good, or hey, this is just ass. You know, like that's a
Yeah,
discussion maybe for another time. But
yeah.
yeah,
I was about to hit a thing, but I'll save it for later.
no, say it, hit
No,
it right
I
now.
mean, okay, because it's I think modern games have relied too heavy on story, and then now all the stories are pretty good, but the games suck. That's it. Like
Okay.
like I think the games have been the vehicle for the story, but then now we're like you've distilled gaming into just moving along in the story that no like that there's no more iteration on like like fun like crazy game concepts, right?
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
ultimately everything has been already been like most of everything has been done, unless you have to go like do like a crazy game like Death Stranding where it's you're just delivering packages. What the hell story is there, right?
Hmm.
Versus you play something like The Last of Us, you're like granted the gameplay kind of feeds into the story, like how you're scrapping together things, resources and ammo and all this stuff makes you feel like you're in the world, but then
Yeah.
ultimately you're just there for point A to point B. Like the gameplay is not the most groundbreaking thing.
Yeah.
It's tense because of the world that you're in. I feel like we haven't had. It's been a while since I felt that there's a game that was just purely fun.
I think Resident Evil's
Um,
pretty good. Resident Evil 4, the remake, but again, it's a remake, so I don't know if that counts. Hogwarts Legacy is also pretty fun, but
but
that's
it's not like kind of just like going back to like the open world. Like it's mostly kind of like you get the same like. Would you say it's like it's almost like a Ubisoft game?
um, I would say it's a Ubisoft game that's like good. So I don't know if that's like the same kind of thing, you know.
Mm,
But I see what you're getting at. This year has also been like a little bit of a lull. Like Baldur's Gate 3 was like fantastic,
yeah,
but that was also like a one in a billion million trillion type game.
yeah,
So I can see what you're saying, that like the constant like repetition is just like and like the rate at which we're getting games that good story just doesn't cut it anymore,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, I can see that. um Speaking of things that are being cut, Phil Spencer says there's no red lines over any Xbox game coming to Nintendo or PlayStation. This dude has been okay. You were a huge Phil Spencer's fan for a while,
Yes.
right? I think that this dude is backpedaling and trying so hard. And more props to him for trying to keep this thing alive. But dude, Xbox has been in the dumper for a while, and he's trying so hard to keep it alive.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. Like I will say as a consumer, I like Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I can just play things at whim. You know, it keeps things fresh. Um, but I see what he's saying, right? I think like this could be a perspective thing, right? I have like in my mind there's like a picture, um like it's actually it's hard to explain, but it's like when there's a like it's like two people. Actually, you know what? Let me just stop. I'm rambling for no freaking reason. I think Phil Spencer sees what the trend is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's possible that like like we are starting the era of of console like console war is kind of over, right? I think now it's more about
Well, because he lost.
how do you get, I mean,
Because he
I think
lost.
how do you get people to play, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think also this might be like part of the strategy might be because they got Activision. If they start restricting things, bro, FCC is gonna run after them. Man, bro, what you
Yeah.
mean you can't play Call of Duty on this? Like, so they maybe like that. Maybe that's part of the thing. But ultimately, I think uh the era of exclusives is like console wars kind of, I don't want to say done, but like back in the day, you had to get the same console your friends had. There was no crossplay.
I
So it
think,
was like, yo,
yeah.
there was like popularity to it. It's like, okay, let's just go here. And then now everybody just huddles there. And
Yeah.
so I think the fact that you can play on PC and all this stuff with other people makes sense. But then I, they really are lacking like blockbuster games that I think Sony has. And I think Sony is at a point where they're like, dude, we need something different because people just play these games for 40 hours and they're done.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, I think,
you know,
okay, so I think that there is a world where that reality makes sense, but I genuinely think that the reason he's saying this stuff and the reason that they're kind of going up with this attitude of like there's no more console wars, like I said it as a joke earlier, but it's because I think they like lost this generation like pretty hardcore,
yeah, yeah.
and now they just need to do anything to recoup those losses. Release games on every system, like make Halo like a cross console franchise and like all this stuff, because it does have something to do with what you were saying earlier. Like in a world where console wars matter, and it's like if you want to play Halo, you have to go to Xbox, right?
Mhm.
But now financially, if Xbox is in the shitter, it doesn't make sense for them to be like, no, Halo only for Xbox and PC. Dude, just release it for PS5. Like at this point, you're releasing it in an engine that can take it, like that can port over PS5 pretty easily. Like, just do it. That's just more money for you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
I will say, I think the domino that led this, unironically, like had this not happened,
mhm.
I don't think there would have been this discussion. Minecraft. They had to keep Minecraft running on everything. They
Mhm.
couldn't just yank it from Switches or iPads because all the kids would cry.
Yep.
So they had to kind of keep it running and establish those relationships with with like Sony and Switch or and Nintendo.
Mhm.
So like, and I think as they acquired more studios, like I think that was like the like uh, for multiplat and from like the publishing view, that might have been it, right? Where they, because then like it didn't make sense for them to go get like they kind of tried to do that with Bethesda and Starfield,
Mhm.
right? Where they're like, okay, let's go do this and hank it down, right? Hunker it down
Yeah.
and make it under our bubble. Because I think they saw Sony was doing that already. That they went to Square Enix, made things timed exclusives. Went to Bethesda even and made Deathloop a time exclusive, made Ghostwire Tokyo
Mm.
time exclusive. So from their perspective, like, okay, well, we have to play ball here. We have to, because Sony was like low key scheming a bit, and so like from the way the court documents made it sound, where Phil Spencer was like, dude, we like these like look across the table, like these guys are buying exclusives left and right, and we can't play it on our consoles. Um,
Yep.
but then
That's
like
true.
I think that also the trend kind of grows a bit bigger because like Lego Horizons is on Switch.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I don't know if it's a Sony published game, but it's a Sony IP, right? Let me Lego Horizons publisher. Developers Guerrilla Games. What the heck? Oh, and Studio Gobo. Publisher Sony Interactive. Yeah, see, like so even Sony is dipping their toes in where they're releasing this game out on the Switch.
Yeah. That's true.
So it's like I think that is like that's might be the industry trend, and I think Phil Spencer just wants to kind of stand up and say, "Hey, we are the premier place to do this," right? I think that's why they had this new campaign of, "Oh, Xbox is your tablet, your phone, like your cloud streaming," and there's even reports of like they're gonna make a handheld like the Steam Deck, which honestly that would be great, dude. If they can get some stream, if they can get some basic bare bones version of Windows and
Yeah.
have that be a Game Pass machine, I might just Gabe Newell, love you, man, but I might just get that because like
Mm.
then you just have like local gaming, and you just pull up any game you want to play at that time.
Yep.
That would be cool. It's such a left turn from what we've had growing up.
Yes,
So
I do think I
we'll
agree
see.
with that, and I'm like on paper, I'm down for this idea that like yeah, go on every console, like share everything. The question is then like why would you ever buy an Xbox, or why not buy just a PS5? You know, so Xbox needs to really evaluate their value proposition, and maybe Game Pass is the value proposition, and I'm just curious to see how profitable this thing is, but obviously they'll never release that information.
Yeah,
But you know, we'll see where this goes.
yeah. It's possible that they make like a Game Pass, they subsidize Game Pass to be cheaper. They're like, oh, you just buy like if you're on Xbox, you just get it uh for this much. But if you want to play the Sony, like you want to play the game on Sony, you just gotta pay $70
Yeah,
or pay 80
fair
bucks or
enough.
something. I don't know, whatever the cost of gaming looks like.
Fair enough. And then that will lead Sony to respond, which will be also equally as good. So more competition is always great, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Last story of the day before we jump into Penguin. Just I wanted to bring this title to your attention. That's all it is. We don't have to talk about the game. The title is 420 Blaze It 2 Game of the Year, Dank Dreams and Goated Memes, wow, hashtag or wow / like and subscribe Poggers Edition. This is a real game. This is a game that's coming out, and it's already out actually. It has a positive rating on Steam. 97% of the 47 reviews for this game are positive. And yeah, I just wanted to point that out to you in case you were looking for something to stimulate your brain.
This game came out like a couple years late, man. I was making MLG edits like this in like freaking 2011, man.
Yeah.
Like, get with it.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it takes a while to render all that out. But for anyone
Exactly,
who's
yeah.
thinking about playing it, it's called, I'll link it in the thing, but again, it's called 420 Blaze It 2 Game of the Year, Dank Dreams and Goated Memes, wow, 11 like and subscribe Poggers Edition. Mouthful, but you know, there you go if you ever want to search for it.
On sale, man.
Yeah, it's on sale.
$9.89.
Ooh.
$9.89.
And there's a free demo, so you know, go nuts. But yeah, I mean that concludes the news. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to talk about specifically about that, Ahmed. Or...
Nah, man, I'm here to talk about it.
I mean, Sophia. All right, listen, we're gonna talk about the Penguin for the next, I'd say like 8 to 10 minutes. Full spoilers. If you are thinking about watching the Penguin, you can sign off now.
Wait, I got you here. Skip to
Walkie Slush.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna edit none of that and just have this part play.
They're like, wait, what time am I supposed to go to? What the heck is a walkie slush?
You what? But yeah, thanks for listening. Appreciate all y'all, and anybody who's leaving now. Watch the Penguin. That's the summary that we're gonna basically give.
If you made it this far into the podcast, real ones,
that is
drop a comment saying wonky slush.
Don't do that, please.
No. We have to know if they got it here, man.
That's true.
If you got to the part of this podcast, if you listen to all the ramblings, if you heard me go, if you heard that I have to go poop and you can't and all that stuff, and you're here now, drop a wonky slush in the chat.
We're poop buddies. That's what it is now.
Nah, actually, no, man.
But yeah, all right, Sophia, listen. That ending was insane. That show just blew me out of the water.
Yeah. Did I would argue the start of the finale was way better. Like I was sitting there, I was like, yo, what is it? I was like, wait, she doesn't look like that. Who dyed her hair?
Yeah.
She doesn't look like. I was like, what the? And then you just see the strobe, woo, the red, woo, woo, woo.
Hmm.
Hey, don't worry about me, sweetheart. Just focus. And then, like there.
Yeah.
And then like that, it just felt so like, oh, it gave you a sense of the, and then like it gave you a sense of the ride of what's going on, and you clued in on what's happening. And then when you see what happens when freaking Oz wakes up, oh, that section
Which
was
part
just like
you're talking about?
like when like after Sophia wakes him up in the jazz club,
Yes.
like in modern day.
Yes.
Like
Yes. Okay.
you see that play out, and you're just like, dude, this dude really does suck.
Yeah.
Like they were about to chop his mom's like finger off, and he's like, "Oh, I swear I didn't do anything.
Ma.
Don't do my mom."
Ma, I didn't do nothing. Ma, what are you talking about, ma? Dude, when he refused to say anything, I was like, oh my God, this guy is like, he is evil, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that it's such a good character writing because you're not supposed to like this guy. He's supposed to
Yeah.
be like an asshole, you know? Like, that's the biggest part. And they nailed it, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree because initially like they kind of play on the idea of, he's doing this for his mom. She has dementia, and she has this. They're struggling. He has to play the game so that he can take care of his mom, and that kind of that hits for me. That hits for, I think, probably hits for a lot of people, right?
well,
That's kind of
yeah, they wrote
like,
it to where they
like
hustled you, the
yeah, like
audience.
you humanize them, and then all of a sudden, bam, nah, ma, don't do it. I didn't do anything. I swear, don't. Yeah, it's like, dude, everybody in the room says, bro, we know you farted. I swear I didn't fart. I swear I didn't fart.
Oz, there's a dookie stain on your pants, dog. Nah, dog,
Yeah.
I didn't fart. Like, what are you talking about?
It's dude, like that moment, and then like his mom was like, "Bro, you're the devil," and it's like she knew all along, but which kind of tells you, is she also kind of a shitty person, or is she kind of a bad person? Because like if she knew that that's the type of person that her son is, like maybe she felt like, oh, okay, maybe I don't have to get rid of him now. Maybe I can live with him for a bit and see what happens, and then all of a sudden, one step after another, they're there, and
Yeah, the mom, I don't know if I do kind of blame her because it's like, dude, you knew what was going on, but at the same time, like, realistically, right? In normal society, what are you gonna say? Yes, kill my son, like get rid of him, make him disappear.
Yeah.
Like that's a crazy like thing for a mother to do in general. But at the same time, this kid was crazy. This kid is like the devil, you know? And the stuff he does is like is crazy. We don't see the buildup of how, I mean, we kind of see it, but we don't see the buildup of how he became Oz Cobb and like became the Penguin and all this stuff, you know? Like that's I think that's part of it, the ambiguity of it, that the fact that he started so bad killing his two brothers and now he's all the way here. It's like, oh, damn, you know?
Yeah. Like it's like yeah, obviously has like a chip on his shoulder, and he needs to kind of do, because like they kind of hint at it like throughout the whole show. Like even at the start, when he kills Alberto Falcone, he he kills him just for what? Because the guy cracked a joke saying, "Oh, like nobody's like,
your dream's stupid."
Yeah, like you, all you want is that people have a praise for you. Oh, and then like he says, "Okay, I'm joking," and then bam, that ignites the whole show. So he feels like he has a thing to prove.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think overall, like before I kind of give my overall opinions, do you see the thing that people are talking about? Actually, okay, let me take a step. I'm jumping all over the place. Overall, I think an amazing show. And I'm very worried if they're gonna milk this, because I think like the reason why Matt Reeves Batman was so good, because it felt like such a refreshing take on Batman. Like it felt like, hey, we haven't really seen a detective Batman before, like
Yeah.
the world's greatest detective. So let's give you that and kind of in a new environment, right?
Yep. Yep.
And you kind of get to see the struggles that he has with the GCPD.
Yeah.
And it gives you like, okay, to me, like I like most of my knowledge on and like in context and familiarity with Batman has been with like the Arkham series, right?
Yeah.
Um, and for me, like I think that scratched such a good itch because it felt like it was drawing or inspiration from that kind of pool where it's like, hey, um, we're like you're gonna see him interacting with the cops and it's not always gonna be like this mysterious man that he drops a smoke bomb and runs away and oh my god,
Yeah.
where's Batman? Or it's like, oh, he's like he's posted up in the thing and he's arguing with like all like with the chief officer and all this other stuff
Yeah.
and you get this like grounded sense of the world and that's what I liked about it. And when they announced the Penguin show, I was, oh my god, they're gonna milk this. Who the heck? I mean, okay, I know who the Penguin is, but it's like,
Who
that's such a
cares
random...
about the Penguin? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, what are you gonna? Okay, he's gonna walk around, but no, they did such a great job, kind of digging more into the the. I was gonna go into brain rot because into the crime families.
Yeah.
Like, we have a friend that he's always like the Biden crime family.
The Biden crime family still in this election.
Yeah, the Falcone crime family.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So it was nice to see that, and obviously, like I think we see the Falcones and stuff in like the first Batman Begins, but like it's such a name drop in the bucket. But here you got to see the whole thing fleshed out.
Yeah.
But I'm just worried how this plays out for the rest of the stuff.
I don't think they're
see...
gonna milk it. I think they straight up said this is a limited series. This is it. And the next thing you're gonna see about Batman is gonna be 2026, which is the Batman movie. So I don't think they're gonna milk it. They did say that the Batman movie is gonna take place 6 months after the Penguin. So we'll see how that goes. I see what you're saying, that you're worried they're gonna milk it. I generally don't think that they will, but we'll see. You know, I could be proven wrong tomorrow, right? The thing I really liked about the show as well is that, like, yeah, it showed the underside of Gotham, but it showed that like you kind of know how the Penguin's going to react at the end of the show, you know? Like, and they did kind of allude to it where he's like, you know, my Ma keeps me good. She keeps me good, Vic, you know? And the second he loses her is when he just goes balls to the wall, like, everything is off the table. He's going to do whatever he can to keep his power. He's going to do whatever he can to, like, you know, be on top. And part of that is killing Vic, which is like his other found family that he has in the show. That part, really, I was like, man, I didn't know how they were going to end it with Vic. But he's too good to be left alone and alive by the end of the series, you know?
Yeah.
He's too much of an OG. He's too much of, like, the best companion you can have and all this stuff. And sure enough, that's what happened. He got by Oz. And it's like, man, very painful scene to watch, but very much like that's par for the course, you know?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because like Oz, like I think the day before, right? He like usurps all the power.
Mm-hmm.
How? By having all the right hand men from the other factions kill their head, and then they step up. So then maybe he was looking at Vic like, yo, like you just saw everybody do that to the main guy. Like, what are you gonna do to me? He's like, actually, you're not gonna do anything. You're gonna stay right here.
Bang. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I think something had to happen between the two because you look at this and you see, hey, like early in the episode, you see this dude was like his mom that he loves. He was gonna just let them cut the finger off.
Yep.
Just cause, right? So it's so how is he gonna treat this random person that he brought into his life? You know.
Yep.
I felt like it was a bit abrupt how it happened.
With Vic or
with Vic, yeah, because I think like I can see why they had to do it, but I feel like if they gave a different, if they killed him off in a different way, I think it might have felt better. But ultimately, I mean, I think um, it makes sense for the character, man. I don't know if you saw, and people were talking. There was like Easter eggs to the Court of Owls, and
Yep.
when he goes to
Yeah.
So people are saying that that's gonna be Batman 2 is gonna be focusing on that.
I can see it.
Uh,
I don't know if you saw, or I don't know if you caught the connection, but Eve Carlo, his girlfriend, Carlo is
Mhm.
Clayface's last name. So
Oh, yo!
so
What?
I don't know if they're gonna have her, and her whole idea of like she wears a wig, she's like an actress and all this stuff. You know, like I don't know. They said they don't want to go as fantastical as Clayface, from what I
Okay, I was
remember.
about to say, I was about to say the next like next he starts off saying, "Oh, hey, who are you?"
Yeah, literally.
Oh, I'm Clayface.
Hey, I'm a mud man. Let's go. It's like, okay, dude. But we'll see. I don't know. But
Honestly,
you
I
know.
will say maybe she was Clayface because I swear
Oh yeah, you told me
she
this.
like
Yeah.
the actress looked exactly like, not even talking about the
The
costume
outfit,
that she
yeah.
was wearing, the outfit. She looked exactly like Oz's mom, like Francis or whatever. It looked
Mm-hmm.
like very similar. And like I was like, wait, like I saw the scene at the end when they're dancing. I was like, is he just dreaming about his mom?
Yeah.
Right? I was like, okay, this it's probably her dressed up like his mom. But I was like, wait, like the face looks too similar.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, man, like that, I think that added like an extra layer to, or maybe I'm just whatever. I wanted to kind of project her the subconscious or
Maybe. I mean,
whatever.
I see what you're saying when you pointed it out to me. Like, oh yeah, I could see that. I went back and watched the scene. I was like, oh yeah, I can see it. So I don't know. Maybe she is already Clayface. Maybe she's like, oh, Botox.
Whoop.
Ooh.
Yeah, man, it's
Um, who else got it hard? Sophia. Sophia got it
oh, that
so
was so, yeah,
rough, dude. Like,
yeah.
I
She
felt so
back
bad for her.
to the slammer, bro. Like, dude, she did not like her whole life screwed up, man.
Yep, because of her dad. Like, but she's
No,
not
I
dead.
even argue even because of Oz, right? Because he was the first person that tipped off her dad. I mean, obviously
Oh
her dad
yeah,
kind of set things in motion,
yeah.
but
True.
like,
Just she got it so rough, dude. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, she's still alive, and the thing is, like, her letter from Selena was brought in, so they're gonna do something with it. What they do, I don't know, but I'm very curious to see how it's gonna play out. You know.
yeah.
Um,
She breaks her out of Arkham, and then she turns into Poison Ivy, and Victor comes back as Victor Zaz.
and right as
And
Zaz is about to stab Selena, he's like, "You ready to get Zazzed?" Batman comes in. He's like, "Hey, don't do that, huh?" And then a portal opens, and Walter White steps in, and he is like, "Did somebody say Breaking Bad?" And everyone's like, "No."
no, and then he's like, wait, and then Jack Black comes in and says, "I'm Steve."
Oh, but yeah, I
Uh,
10 out of 10 show. I can't recommend it enough. If you liked 2022 Batman, you'll love this. Um, yeah, so we'll see where this goes. I'm looking for more, but not too much. You know, slight touches.
yeah.
But yeah, thanks for sticking with it, everyone. If you're still here, type in dingus.
Type in, or actually do that. Type in Dingus.
Yeah, type in dingus, and if you didn't make it here, don't say anything, because then that shows that speaks more volume, speaks to volumes to your character. You don't commit to
Yep.
things, you don't finish things, and they won't know I said that because they're not here. So
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, folks. Take care.
Bye bye.